Good afternoon. So it's Joanne Lacey from MEF here, and I'm with Mitchell Cutmore from Telefonica, who's the head of business messaging. How are you doing, Mitch?
Hi Joe, how are you? I'm good,
I'm
thank
good,
you.
thank you. So thanks for chatting to us today. Mitch and Telefonica have kindly agreed to have a few words with MEF about the code of conduct on A2P SMS. So Telefonica have been one of the founding members of MEF's Future of Messaging program, and were instrumental in the development of the original code, which launched in 2018. Now in 2020, then the working group is getting ready to review the code, and also there's a big push across the industry for the code really to start having impact, and that's what we're here to talk to Mitch about today. So Mitch, let's start right at the beginning.
Yeah.
From a fraud point of view and A2P SMS, what are the key challenges that you see in the region?
Yep, so all of our markets face a kind of combination of SIM farms, grey routes and smishing. And particularly because obviously here in Latin America, we still in many markets use and take advantage of unlimited SMS offers and packages and bundles to remain competitive.
Yeah.
So that kind of obviously opens the door to SIM farms, and where we cannot realign our commercial strategy internally, it's something that we kind of have to live and learn with and find ways to work around. So that's kind of the principal challenge, is how to balance offering unlimited SMS but also managing somehow to protect our business messaging revenue and obviously guarantee that our customers aren't being bombarded with fraud and spam.
Okay, and this balance that you're trying to find then, how does an industry code help that? Does self-regulation work from an M&O perspective?
Yeah, well, what happens is that I think there's kind of been a long history in Latin America of kind of a boom and bust cycles of operators trying to control the issue, sometimes being a bit too aggressive and then provoking a similarly aggressive response from regulators who then clamp down on operators being seen as too heavy-handed. So actually, we kind of see self-regulation at this point as the kind of only way out. So we've had a situation in Peru where we started blocking at one point, and then the regulators kindly asked us to stop whilst they investigated what we were doing, because they were under the understanding that we might have been, like I said, too heavy-handed. And in Chile, for instance, somewhat similar, but there it's simply the regulator has as a baseline that no one can interrupt their customer services.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, there we haven't even been able to kind of get out the gate, so to speak. So what we're hoping is that by working with MEF and demonstrating that we're connected with the ecosystem as a whole, with aggregators, brands, and other operators, that we're actually, in touch with a kind of common consensus of what is good sense and good business practice to kind of keep that balance right between protecting customers and obviously shutting down SIM farms and fraud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in working with, although we're talking about self-regulation, then in some countries, then Telefonica's choosing to mandate MEF's code of conduct, which we're really excited about because we've seen the challenges that when the code doesn't have the support from the network and the reliance is on the aggregators to do the right thing, then it doesn't have the same impact. So why are you choosing to mandate it rather than just recommend the code as other operators do?
Yeah, well, I think if we look at the kind of messaging ecosystem as a whole, both from a end consumer point of view and aggregators and operators, it's very clear there's a kind of cause and effect relationship at work. So, like I kind of said at the beginning, SIM farms proliferate in Latin America because we continue to offer unlimited SMS packages for commercial gain. Therefore, likewise with aggregators, any kind of adjustment we make affects and shapes the way that the aggregators do business and can do business, in fact. So it kind of became clear that we need operators to set the tone in terms of engagement going forward, and that the code is going to be the best way of doing that. So we've been recommending the code for the past 2 years informally to aggregators, but we've observed that not all of them have taken it upon themselves to kind of jump on board. So now we obviously think the most effective way is making it an integral part of how we do business and how we work together.
And by doing that, what impact do you hope to achieve? So what does good look like in 12 months' time?
Yeah, so we're hoping to kind of trigger off a positive chain reaction in the market. So what we'd like to see is, starting with a couple of our markets, we'd like to mandate the code. We'd like to see the aggregators obviously take that up. We're not expecting to lose aggregators as a result of this. And then once we can see this rippling through Telefonica in the region, we'd like to see, and we will proactively be kind of branching out and reaching out to other operators to encourage them to do the same. To explain to them why we're doing this, why we believe it would be something positive to do across, each of our markets. And then hopefully, ultimately, we're hoping that this will provoke the regulators to rethink how they look upon our efforts to protect the A2P channel, and for them to kind of think about how they can empower us to do better in this arena. So, I mean, one of the things we've been looking at is was the decision taken in the States to maintain the definition of the SMS as an information service, and they specifically use the words to empower operators to be able to look after this problem as they see best, within reason, and within that reason being, reasoning being shared and vetted across the ecosystem. So that's the aim.
No, it's great, and I think it's not a quick process as we see, but it is based on industry collaboration. I guess one final question: what do you think would help, from everybody within the ecosystem, and not just in Latin America, in order to help establish the code of conduct to achieve greater impact globally? What do you think each stakeholder needs to do?
Well, yeah, I think we have a lot of end goals, but it would be great to see the code bring us to a point where we have greater customer and brand awareness about how business messaging works. So over the years, in a lot of countries, we've had requests from aggregators asking for some sort of certification, some document or material that can help them have more constructive conversations with brands about what risks they take when they work with SIM farms and unofficial routes, and to also give them some sort of assurance about what they're getting, what the value they're gaining when they work with kind of official routes and aggregators that do things the right way. And I think that's what the code can do. So I think it'd be great to see in the future some way that perhaps brands could also sign up to the code and put their customers at ease that any messages you receive from us will be adhering to this set of best practices, demonstrating how they look after their customer data and make sure that all messages coming from them are coming the right way and through protected routes. So I think that'd be great, because then customers, once we have customer awareness and trust in the right messages, that then means that the other messages obviously will lose value, because if the customers aren't going to engage with messages they don't believe have come through the right route, then they're essentially rendered redundant. So that is another way we get to the bud.
It's a really good point. We talk about self-regulation a lot, but it's also market education, and that's why the badge that signatories can get for the code is called Trust in Enterprise Messaging, because that's really what we're all here to do, is to sustain the channel and build trust. So yeah, well, thank you for your time.